Stimați invitați, bine ați venit! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here today. Ne bucurăm că ați răspuns invitații noastre a participa la conferința Leading in Challenging Times. Leading in Challenging Times, da. Susținută de domnul Anthony Silard, to my right, director executiv al Executive Leadership Institute din Statele Unite al Americii. Coach în materie de dezvoltare al leadership-ului și autor al cărți Leadership Total, ghid practic pentru a-ți transformat viziuni asupra vieții în realitate. Evenimentul este organizat, așa cum știți, de Clubul Întreprinzătorului Român, fondat de BT, Banca Transilvania, și organizat de Fundație Post-Privatizare, unul dintre partenerii noștri cu care derulăm o serie de proiecte. Ne-am gândit că un astfel de subiect despre leadership-ul în aceste vremuri cu turbulență este cât se poate de interesant pentru dumneavoastră, având în vedere contextul economic prin care trecem cu toți. Banca Transilvania, ca și companie, nu a încetat niciodată să învețe, fie din experiență proprie, fie din experiențe altor. Suntem la rândul nostru un model de business pentru alți, dar și alți sunt modele pentru noi. CIR, Clubul Întreprinzătorului Român, este prima inițiativă de acest gen de pe piața bancară autohtonă, prin care BT susține antreprenori. Prin organizare de cursuri, training, oferă un program de networking, consultanță financiar bancar. În acest an marcăm 4 ani de activitate a clubului și am ajuns deja la peste 13.000 de membri, peste tot în România. În ultimii 2 ani ne-am concentrat foarte mult pe evenimente despre fonduri structurale, fonduri europene. În acest an, prin Clubul Întreprinzătorului Român, am organizat 52 de evenimente în țară, iar în Cluj 40. Printre cele mai importante aș menționa Google. Google vine la Cluj, Google AdWords sau dezvoltarea competențelor și asistență în afaceri pentru întreprinzători în dificultate. Iar evenimentul de azi va completa evenimente importante organizate pentru antreprenorii noștri. Suntem siguri că invitatul nostru, domnul Anthony Silard, ne va aduce informații noi și că inițiativa noastră a fi azi împreună este cât se poate de inspirată. Mulțumesc!
Bună dimineața! Numele meu este Peter Partea, sunt director executiv al Fundației Post-Privatizare și face o deosebită plăcere să fiu la Cluj din 2 motive. Unul, pentru că este orașul meu natal, sunt clujan. Să spunem, istoria m-a determinat să mă mut la București, dar sper că într-o conjunctură favorabilă pentru toată lumea. Și al doilea motiv, pentru că putem veni cu seria de evenimente pe care noi le considerăm excepționale, pe care le derulăm. Și nu le derulăm doar ca să ne găsim parteneri, ci le derulăm ca să putem ajuta la dezvoltarea unei comunități, așa cum o face și Banca Transilvania. Mă bucur că la acest eveniment putem să fim parteneri, așa cum am fost parteneri la multe alte evenimente, care au venit în beneficiul dumneavoastră. Vă încurajez să profitați de prezența lui Tony, pentru că este o persoană excepțională, numai prin faptul că din expertiza pe care o are și pe care a pus-o la dispoziția unor companii și lideri de companii din Forbes 500 din Statele Unite, dar și prin prisma faptului că vă poate ajuta să vă îmbunătățiți, să vă transformați modelul de business. Tony, sau prezența lui Tony, este doar o parte din ceea ce facem noi în dezvoltarea antreprenoriatului românesc. Noi avem o serie de evenimente care aduc și merg în direcția propusă și promovată alături și de Banca Transilvania ca banca pentru întreprinzători. Noi mai avem și o serie de evenimente cum ar fi Business Mentoring Program, din care îmi face o plăcere să văd și fețe cunoscute care au participat la acest program, care consider că este un program de excepție. Într-adevăr, este derulat doar în București într-o primă fază, dar o să le extindem și la Cluj. Dar ca și o noutate de anul viitor, venim cu 2 dragoni la Cluj, cu un eveniment care se numește School for Startups, în care un dragon din Marea Britanie, pe nume Douglas Richard, și Marius Ghenia vor ține o serie de evenimente alături de noi pentru dumneavoastră. Așa că vă îndemn să urmăriți activitățile pe care le derulăm și să profitați la maxim de ele. Și n-am să mai răpesc din timpul lui Tony și am să-i ofer cuvântul și sper să vă placă acest eveniment, astfel încât să puteți veni și să vă determinăm să veniți și la celelalte evenimente organizate alături de Banca Transilvania. Mulțumesc frumos!
Hello? Okay, there we go. Okay, first of all, hello everyone. Ce mai faceți? I'm not going to impress you with my Romanian, but I can say a few things. Of course, mulțumesc. Anyway, bună. I'm sort of depleting the reservoir of my Romanian resource. I have to learn more of the language. Especially, this is my 3rd time here in the last year. So, first, I want to say thank you to Robert Reckers and to Tibi and all the team at Banca Transilvania for sponsoring this event. We went with Tibi, one of your team members, to it's the Cluj Has Soul youth organization for disadvantaged children and youth yesterday, and did a workshop there. And I was really impressed with your team because they really clearly you have a mission beyond just profit, but also about giving back to Cluj, including this event, inviting a lot of the SMEs and entrepreneurs like many of you that are here. So anyway, we appreciate you bringing us here. Let's give a round of applause to Banca Transilvania. Thank you, guys. Also, I'd like to thank Peter Barta and Alina, who's over there. Hi, Alina. Where are you? Oh, she went off. Madalena and Daniel and the team at Post-Privatization Foundation. This is actually the 3rd time they've brought me here this year, and actually Peter also has a lot of work that takes him to Washington, D.C., where I live. So we found that between June and December of this year, we're seeing each other 5 times. So I feel like I'm becoming part of the team here. So they've been great. Thank you for sponsoring this event and creating this. I think one thing we're planning for next year is a kind of business incubator program where I'll be coming back here twice next year and potentially doing some coaching with some of you guys also, as well as with other entrepreneurs throughout Romania. So it's been a great partnership with the organization I run, the Center for Social Leadership. We do this leadership training. So anyway, we really appreciate it. Let's give a round of applause to Peter and Post-Privatization Foundation for setting this up. Thank you, Peter. Okay, so to get started, we're really going to go deep today into what is leadership and how can we apply leadership to leading in a tough economy. I know many of us are scared right now. Well, what's going on? What's happening? The economy is having trouble. What's going to happen for my SME? What's going to happen for my business? And how can I navigate it? And I do training, leadership training, I do training with Fortune 500 companies like Disney, IBM, GE, with their CEOs, their senior leaders. I also do training with many small businesses, just like yours, around the world. I'm also doing training with nonprofit organizations, large and small, and government agencies. But anyway, I do a lot of training with small businesses. And what I love about you guys is you guys have vision, you have passion. You're trying to create something that didn't exist before. And that's what grows the economy, that's what grows our lives, creates jobs for people. You know, you ever heard the saying, if you can't take a job, make a job? You know? So, you know, you guys are making jobs. It's a beautiful thing, right? I mean, it changes people's lives. So I'm privileged and honored to be here with you, working with you, and I'm really hoping that each of you will get something out of our workshop today. Maybe even something not that I say, but you learn from someone else here, or something that I say that leads you to develop another thought, to really think concretely about your business, how you can grow your business. That's the goal here. You know, I think as a facilitator, my goal is not to get you to think like I think, but to get you to think like you think, to get you to really look deeply into what are your values, what is your vision. And the book that each of you has, Leadership Total, it's all about that. It's about that each person can develop a vision for what they want to create in their life, what they want to be remembered for, how they want to treat other people, what they want to develop, what they want to accomplish, and they can align that vision with their everyday actions. And the more you do that, the more you have this feeling of alignment. That's really what Leadership Total, the book you have, is about. It's about alignment. And my observations of coaching CEOs and senior leaders and individuals around the world has been that this is the #1 thing that enables people to be not just successful but also happy. This feeling of alignment, that like what you believe and what you do are aligned. You know, that each day, if you look at what you have in your planner, that it's aligned with your sort of long-term vision. If you imagine yourself right now at 80 years old, you know, gray hair, looking at you right now, sitting here in this room, and think like, what would you want that person to think and say about the way you're living your life? You know, would they say, if they looked at what you're doing, if they looked at your planner and what you've been doing, would they say, and the way you spend your time, the way you give time to your family, to your friends, to yourself, to your business, to your children if you have them, you know, to yourself, like even taking time for yourself to meditate or do yoga or go to a concert or whatever it is that fulfills you, would they say, you know what, I love the way you're living your life, it's great, just keep doing that, I'm going to be proud of you if you keep doing that? Or would they say, what is wrong with you? You know, why are you spending all your time in this dead-end relationship that's not working for you? Why are you spending all your time trying to get customers in a business that doesn't even interest you? You know, why are you spending all your time working in this job that doesn't fulfill you? You know, what are they saying? And the more we can listen to them, the more we can make sure that what we're doing today is aligned with our long-term life vision. And that's really, that alignment, you know, I know many of us think, well, you know, CEOs don't think about that stuff. That's the #1 thing they think about. You know, this personal development and leadership development are one and the same. In fact, a Harvard study found that 85% of a leader's success is attributable to personal character. You know, so if you want to be on the leader on the outside, you first have to be a leader on the inside. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Well, we're going to look at both. We're going to look at personal development and your business development and how do they work together. So one thing I want to share is that we're all going to be sharing here. It's going to be an interactive. I'm not just going to lecture to you guys for 3 hours. It's going to be interactive. And there's no right answer to anything. As I said, my goal is not to get you to think like I think, but to get you to think like you think, to connect you with your higher ideals and what you really believe. So I don't want anyone to be inhibited or think like, oh, I shouldn't share because maybe what I'm saying is not the right opinion. There is no right opinion. You know, I'm subjective just like any of you are. We all have our view on the world, right? So I want you to share whatever you feel. Okay, and you know, it reminds me, you know, that this one time, you know, Epictetus, the ancient Roman philosopher, someone was criticizing him, and he said to them, well, clearly you don't know me very well, because if you did, you would be able to find many more of my faults than you did find. You know, and I loved that way of thinking. It's like, you know, clearly if you knew me well, you'd find many more faults than you've already found. And it's like the idea that we're all trying to defend ourselves and show that we're perfect, But this is like one of the most important lessons of leadership, is that none of us are perfect. Believe me, I've coached some of the most successful leaders on this planet, and none of them are perfect. Every one of them has very serious challenges. You know? And the more we can, instead of trying to be perfect, we can accept what our strengths are, what are our challenges, which way do we want to grow, the more we will grow as leaders. So I hope whatever your point of view is, you feel free to share it. Even if it's totally challenging what I'm saying, that's fine. There's one leadership principle we teach is called foster an environment of constructive disagreement. You know, and I know a lot of you in the surveys shared that team building is something you really want to work on and you want to build in your companies. Well, the best teams that I've worked with and coached, they know this constructive disagreement. They basically, what they're able to do is they can disagree and they can diverge in their thinking, and everybody can put their ideas out, and then they also can come together and converge and say, okay, this is our plan, we're going to go forward. You know, most teams can do one or the other. Everyone agrees, but nobody shares their point of view, and then they're not really owning it. They don't feel, they're not really bought in. Or everyone disagrees and they can't come together. This is what an effective leader does. It gets the team to diverge and then converge. You know, so every point of view is okay, and then you come up with a plan, and even if it's not exactly the plan that you wanted or that you wanted, you say, well, we had our chance to express our point of view, and we're a team, let's do this. This is what the whole team wants to do, and that's sort of the balance between, individual choice and collective choice. If we don't want to be involved in collective decision making or choice, then we shouldn't lead, because that's what teams do. Is not everyone gets exactly what they want, but that's why they join a team, because they believe in what the team is doing and they're willing to make some compromises. So what we're going to do today, we're going to first talk about general qualities of leaders. So what are the key characteristics of an effective leader? By the way, how many of you understand me in English? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you would like me to speak a little slower? Okay. All right. How many of you this speed is okay that I'm speaking? All right. Okay. So the majority always wins. All right. So we're first going to talk about the key qualities of an effective leader. I'm going to ask you what you think the key qualities are, and then I'm going to share with you my observations of the 3 most important qualities of a leader from what I've seen from coaching CEOs, executives around the world. Then we're going to talk about, well, okay, that's great. These are the key qualities of a leader, but what about in a tough economy? Like what do you need? What are the key qualities of a leader in a really challenging economy? We're going to also talk about that, because that's where we are right now. All right, and so those are going to be the main themes. We're going to sort of at the end talk about a very important leadership quality and principle that ties it all together. And we're going to do a few exercises along the way. So first of all, I want to thank those of you who filled out the survey. Raise your hands. How many of you have filled out the survey that we sent to you? Okay. Well, this is interesting correlation. Raise your hands again, those who did this survey. It's interesting that everyone who filled out the survey is in the front of the room. Okay? So I think like as a sort of like as a social psychologist, what does that mean? Any rate, so what I want to do though is that helped me to get a sense of what you guys really want to focus on. But what I'd like to do to get us started is I'd like to give an opportunity to about 5 or 10 of you to introduce yourselves and just tell us who you are, where you're working, and tell us one thing about leadership you want to learn today. Okay, so can I get some help from our team? We're going to sort of have pass the mic around. Is that? Yeah? Okay, thanks, Alina. Great. So who would like to start us off? Just tell us your name, where you work, and tell us one thing you want to learn about leadership today. So, Who's our bold first volunteer? I know you guys aren't going to make me just talk the whole time myself. You guys are going to join me, right? You're not going to leave me up here alone, right? We're going to do this together. So who else? Who's going to start us off? Okay.
Name? Well, my name is Ioana Mircea. I'm a doctor. I have my private business since 1992, but I'm here for leadership for another reason. I'm leading a team in a public hospital, and I think that I need help because it's more difficult to lead a team in a public hospital than in your private business. I have a small business, so the public hospital is big, and so I need to know how to constructive disagreement, what to do with it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's just raise our hands, and Alina, just keep raising your hands, and Alina is going to pass around to about 10 people.
Morning. My name is Cluj-Napoca. I am Human Resource Management Consultant and Trainer. Presently, I work as a sole trader, but I intend to build a training business, hopefully international. And I am here to find out new techniques for motivating a team